The echoes of silence. Sofia Bennett was only 19 when her world shattered into pieces. From the outside, her life seemed almost perfect. She lived in a charming countryside house in northern England, her father was a respected doctor, and her mother a warm-hearted piano teacher. But behind the thick stone walls of the Bennett household lay a silence heavier than grief, one stitched together with secrets, shame, and sorrow. Ever since she could remember, Sofia felt like a guest in her own home. Her mother, Eleanor, would often gaze out the window for hours, her hands motionless over piano keys, lost in melodies that never got played. Her father, Richard, was distant, buried in work and locked in a world where emotions had no place. But the real wound came not from their coldness, it came from the absence of her older brother, Thomas. Thomas had disappeared when Sofia was just 10. One rainy night, he stormed out after a loud argument with their father. That night, no one spoke. No one searched. No one even mentioned his name again. It was as if he had never existed. Sofia, confused and broken, carried the silence inside her like a secret disease. Every time she asked about him, her mother would flinch, and her father's face would turn to stone. Years passed, and the pain never left. Sofia began to write letters, not to send, just to feel like someone was listening. She kept them hidden in a red shoebox under her bed, each one starting with the same line, "Dear Thomas, where did you go?" On her 19th birthday, something shifted. While cleaning the attic, she stumbled upon an old photo album wrapped in a blanket. Inside were pictures of a happy family, holidays, birthdays, laughter. But one photo caught her eye. It was of her, no older than 7, holding Thomas's hand. The date on the back read March 3, 2012. That same day, her father had been called into court as a witness in a malpractice lawsuit. The same day Thomas vanished. Curiosity became obsession. She began digging into hospital records, town archives, even Thomas's old room, which had been sealed for nearly a decade. There, hidden behind a loose wooden panel, she found an old journal. Thomas had been writing too. The final entry read, "Dad knows. He won't forgive me. But I had to tell. What happened to Mr. Carter wasn't a mistake, it was covered up. I can't stay here anymore." It hit Sofia like a storm. Her father had hidden more than emotions, he had buried the truth. Mr. Carter had died under suspicious circumstances at the hospital, and Thomas, a curious 17-year-old, had somehow discovered the truth. That truth had cost him his place in the family. Torn between love and justice, Sofia confronted her father. The confrontation was quiet, intense, no shouting, no tears, just truths finally spoken. "I had to protect this family," he said. "You protected your name." "Not us," Sofia whispered. That night, she packed her bags and left. Not in anger, but in search of healing. She traveled for months, following any lead that might bring her closer to Thomas, a social media post, a news article, a face in a crowd. Eventually, in a small coastal town in Ireland, she found him. Older, hardened by years alone, but still her brother. They hugged for a long time. Neither said a word. They didn't need to. The family was never whole again. Her father resigned from his post, and her mother, slowly, began to play piano again, soft, melancholic songs filled with longing. Sofia visited often, but she never returned to live in that house. She built her own life with Thomas in a modest apartment overlooking the sea. There, the silence wasn't heavy anymore. It was peaceful. Sometimes, on stormy nights, Sofia would read one of her old letters aloud, and Thomas would listen. Not all wounds heal, but some, with truth, time, and love, can finally stop bleeding.